Hello and welcome to the second in a series of videos where we break down our annual State of Selling to Schools report to help guide you through some of our insights and what they might mean for your business. Lance and I have surveyed nearly 6,000 teachers from across the UK. The result is a free downloadable 40-page report that combines insights into schools' problems and priorities for the year ahead and draws comparisons with previous surveys. Our deep analysis draws new conclusions about selling to schools, all to help you shape your marketing strategy, solve schools' problems, and make more sales.
This video focuses on Chapter 2 of the report, Communicating with Schools. We asked 3 questions about teachers' preferred means of communication, the frequency of communication, and what strategies elicit the most positive responses. We begin with which method of receiving communication from education businesses do teachers respond to?
And the answer is clear-cut, really. Teachers and school staff overwhelmingly prefer emails to any other means of communication. 87% of them voted for that or chose that option. And the reason, they have an ownership of when they can respond. That's the first one. So a teacher's workload is massive. They have all their lessons to plan, all of things to deal with through the day. By just having things on email, they can just choose when is the best time for them. Whether it's if the email drops at 8 in the morning, they can say, right, I'll look at that in my non-contact time, or I'll look at that properly after school, and there'll be more on timing in another video. They're also in work mode, so when a teacher sits down at their laptop or at their desk, they're expecting to get work related emails, and so it's obvious that that's going to be their favoured choice of communication. So what did we find out about how often educators check their communications each day?
Yeah, absolutely. So we found out about frequency. We asked that question to help us determine the value of that communication means, because the more often you're checking something, the more opportunities you have to engage with it. So, for example, looking at pigeonholes, which sometimes they can be forgotten, but our survey found out that 35.1% are checking it 1 to 3 times a day. So that's 3 opportunities as they're on the way to the staff room, or if it's in their department room, wherever it might be, to catch their eye with some colourful printed marketing. Now, emails we've already mentioned, and it's not really a surprise to either of us, but almost have checked their emails more than 10 times a day. Wow, it's more than 10 times a day. It's a staggering 46.8% of them, almost half, sorry, not more than half. Even checking more than once per day is 96% for emails. So almost every single teacher is on there, and at least a couple of times a day. So it's no surprise, from our own experiences. We've both been teachers, and we know that in our non-contact time, I'd be in the staff room, I'd be on my laptop, I'd be working on administrative tasks, and I'd be keeping my eye on those pop-ups from my inbox to see what's happening. And as you already mentioned, I'm in the right mind frame, I'm in work mode, so I'm more likely to be open to receiving the messaging that is contained within. Now, we compare that to social media. We looked at Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter in our survey. Facebook was the most popular means of social media, but when it came to checking it more than 10 times a day, that was only 3% compared to the 46.8%.
Okay,
only 3%. Wow. And when it comes to checking it just more than once a day, that's 47.7%. So again, whereas 96% for email. So the numbers are quite stark, as you can see, hopefully in this image displayed on screen. And social media plays a role. We know it's important for resource sharing, generating new ideas, networking with other teachers.
There's so many kind of resource sharing groups on Facebook and LinkedIn, all sorts, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And that can quite often help teachers out with their workload of things. But the odds are with social media, you may be using it for educational content, but you could predominantly be using it for entertainment purposes to check on, who's eating avocados those days, or, just to get a bit of a brain break during the busy day. So it's less likely that teachers are going to be in that work mode as consistently as they are for emails.
Sure. Now, you're talking about frequencies. We actually, and if you've downloaded the State of Selling to Schools report 2023, you'll already know this, but we just did a few sums. We worked out that if you take those frequencies and work out an average, on average, a teacher will check their email 8.3 times a day. So that's what we worked out as the average. And they'll check their Facebook 2.7 times per day. So we thought, okay, let's take that a step bigger, a step further. So we applied that. We worked out kind of the broad number of teachers, about 950,000 teachers and school staff at the moment. So we multiplied those numbers at 8.3 by that number and 2.7 by that number, and we found the difference between inbox logins and Facebook checks was 5,387,000 more per day email views than Facebook views. I'll say that again: 5,387,000 more inbox views on Facebook
That's a lot.
than Facebook. So that's a great deal, isn't it? And then you transpose that to a whole year. So this is a calendar year. So we multiplied each one by 365, as you would. And the difference now is 1.97 billion.
All right, we're talking big numbers here.
Yeah, massive numbers. So that's 1.97 billion more inbox views than Facebook views by teachers based on these numbers. So, you know, that's is absolutely a key reason why emails are so important. Obviously, a lot of the emails are going to be related to what teachers are doing with their school day. But, you know, so much of that is opportunity for those marketing emails to be read and taken in and acted upon. So we've looked at that preferred. Why we know why kind of emails are preferred by teachers. So how can you engage educators with your emails and start influencing their purchasing decisions?
Well, nothing is more positive than delighting teachers with discounts and freebies. We all love those. So special offers, we looked at free trials and free webinars, all scored over half when it came to being likely to have a positive teacher response. So we know from being in control of department budgets ourselves that an email that provides you access to a quality resource for less or for free is a huge morale booster in the staff room. When you've got access to that, we saw that during the lockdown as well, when lots of products gave access to their things for free. And it makes your budget go much further. So over 83% of primary and secondary school teachers view free trials positively. Now, if we think about how free trials actually work, I mean, I've had many free trials that I've experienced from using different edtech providers, and straight away a barrier for me with looking at a new edtech resource. If I'm going to invest my time into finding out that it's going to be useful in my classroom, if there's not even a free limited package that I can look at, then already I'm switched off. It's a huge barrier to getting involved with that. But if there's a limited time free period, or you can access some of the features of that tool completely for free before you upgrade to others, then I'm going to look at how can I use that. I'm going to think about it, I'm going to plan it, I'm even going to maybe try it out in my classroom. And then at that point, if it works, or I can see the benefits of it or potential benefits of it, I'm going to be sharing that with my colleagues.
And as in the role of a class teacher, you're kind of the first point of contact almost, because if you've seen something that interests you, you want to give it a go, you might try it out and then take it on to your head of department.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of like role reversal almost with our key decision makers. Maybe not all teachers in charge of a budget, but they're there in their classrooms using these things. So if they can find value and they can discuss that with each other and share the value of using your resource in their classroom, they're then going to be going to their budget holders and saying, look, this isn't just something that we're taking, a punt at. This is something that we've tried out in our classrooms. It works. It helps our students. It helps us. So as you're a budget, if you're a budget holder, that really does justify, getting a paid for version, because the free version is already working.
Absolutely. And in fact, we're thinking about budget holders and heads of department. We've looked at special offers and discounts with relation to that group. And I mean, who doesn't love a discount, eh? But anyway, we found that 78.9% of senior leaders and over 80% of heads of department would have a positive or highly positive response to saving money on a resource. So that's a large chunk, isn't it? It's, 4/5. And as I say, it discounts. It just, with inflation and costs rising, a discount offer is an easy way to make a positive connection with key decision makers. You're talking about the people that are leading the school strategy, whether it's a curriculum decision or a general workings of the school, buildings, that sort of thing. These are the people we're going to, and budgets are really tight. It's well documented that teachers are even having to kind of buy their own classroom resources, and that really shouldn't be the case. So, for instance, a multi-buy offer or a bulk buy on things like mini whiteboards, for instance. Mini whiteboards, they're a great teaching resource here, but teachers are having to kind of fork out and buy them themselves. So any kind of multi-buy offer can go a long way for that, for the pens, the little board rubbers that go with them. All these things, they're great. So if you can help a school save money in that area,
and build that positive relationship,
it could lead to a sale in a different area. So you've got a really nice way of as you say, building that relationship and making that money go a little bit further.
Absolutely. And what about things like that require a bit more time for them to look at, like free webinars?
Well, webinars, actually, we're looking at webinars. We found that the pastoral and SEN and intervention staff found these the most valuable. Again, over around 80% of these would respond positively. And, if you're thinking about SEN, a good SEN coordinator or SENCO is worth their weight in gold in a school. Absolutely. They really are. I mean, they're a supreme fount of knowledge on the students in their care. They are very good at discussing issues and sharing issues with the staff at large. So if you've got a problem with a student or an issue with a student that you're just trying to work out, they would be a person to discuss it with. And that's why webinars are so valuable to them, because they are really looking for open discussion. They share their thoughts with other SENCOs at other schools. You know, if they've got kind of what feels like a unique problem might exist somewhere else, and a webinar is a really good place, a really good kind of platform to have that sharing experience. So that's a really key thing. And it does also kind of lead us on to our insights module. So if we're going into campus, in our insights module, you can toggle your own menus and target specific groups for your marketing. So that might be an area where you're thinking, okay, I've got a webinar about that I want to sell. Who am I going to sell it to? And it might be the SEN coordinators that you're looking for. And you can find that out for yourself in campus. We've looked at the do's. Are there any don'ts?
Yes, I mean, there's things that are not complete no-nos, but things that are certainly a lot less popular than others. And we're talking here about a phone call to discuss your solution. So if you're emailing out about the discounts, about the free trials, they go around quite popular. They get people into a positive mindset. But when it comes to emailing to arrange a time to then discuss a phone call, it's quite a bip process they're having to organise then. 73.8% of respondents said they were unlikely to or would definitely not respond to the offer of a telephone call. It's up from 70.4% in 2022. And this is all about flexibility and time. Phone calls, you need to arrange it at a fixed time. You need to look ahead to your calendar. You need to make sure you're available. Then you need to invest time in that phone call. Now, with the day-to-day teaching, staff going off sick, having to cover lessons, behaviour incidents to deal with, or things just in general to follow up on, quite often, that call might have to be cancelled or rearranged. So it's just a barrier out of a teacher's day when you've already got emails set up and you've got other things when you can come to things, as we said before, as and when you're in the right sort of work mode to look at it. Whereas a phone call might not always be ideal. Although, it wasn't completely a no-no. Some people do like that. But the main thing we found from looking at this question and the questions today is flexibility really is key.
We've explored how best to communicate with schools, how often they view communications, and which strategies can lead to a positive response. We'll go into more detail on method and timing of communication as we continue to delve deeper into our State of Selling to Schools report for 2023.
Of course, our software Campus comes with all of our data and insights baked in, so you really can focus in on the views that impact your targeted campaigns when making your selling to schools decisions. Check out our website to see how you can get in touch with our team today.
From the two of us, goodbye for now.